Court to order. If everyone please rise. This time I'd like to call on Commissioner Beecham for the invocation.
Pray with me, please. Our good and gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we humbly come before you this morning and, Lord, ask for your wisdom and discernment as we conduct the county's business, Lord. Lord, to pray that you would fill us with your Holy Spirit to do what's right always and each and every day. Lord, we pray that you would protect and watch over each of us and protect and watch over our first responders as they protect us, Lord, and also to our military who are scattered abroad, Lord, out there to protect us and to watch over our interests, Lord. Lord, we thank you for the blessing of living in the greatest state and the greatest country ever on the face of the earth, Lord. Lord, we just pray you would continue to bless us mightily in your name. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thanks, sir. Shall you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Take your seats. This time I'd like to ask Judge Little to step forward along with Mike Fleming. And is Angela with us this morning too or not?
She's out with strap.
Oh, okay. All right.
Kind of had to run through that in our office here lately.
Whip. I will just join you all, Judge, if you want to go ahead and read that citation.
Thank you, Judge. We're here today to present a certificate of appreciation to Michael Fleming for 5 years of service to Wichita County. And Judge, you want to read that?
No, you go ahead. Yeah, you graduated from a duly accredited school.
MSU. Go Indians. Congratulations on reaching your milestone service anniversary. Through your hard work, dedication, and loyalty, Wichita County is able to provide quality service to all citizens of Wichita County. In honor of your service, we're pleased to offer you a choice of anniversary awards. Please accept your gift as an expression of our gratitude for the contribution you continue to make every day. On behalf of the Commissioners Court, myself, we recommend you for your service and wish you every success as you continue your career towards your next milestone. Your commitment to Wichita County is deeply appreciated.
You want to say anything, or?
Well, I do. Judy, would you tell about Mike stepped up and he's our back person for?
He will be. This is our new Justice Court Coordinator, Erica Wiley, and he has volunteered, kind of, sort of, we volunteered him to be Erica's backup. So they're going to train, cross-train.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Burn it all. Somebody come take a picture.
Yeah.
Let me do that, Judge. I like cut the heads off,
I think you're good at that.
Here, Mike, get in the center. You're the honoree.
Wait a minute.
How you work this thing?
You quit on me.
Well, first time we ever had that happen.
All right.
You go ahead and tell them everything you know, Judge. All right, here we go.
It
Say
won't take
peace.
long.
You can smile.
Peace.
Cheese. All right, here we go. I think I did take the head off on that. All right, good.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations. I didn't even know you worked here.
I try to stay quiet. I'm just saying. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You are just rotten to the core. Chief Shorty, Tony.
Yeah.
But lovable.
Well, you know, that's about as bad as at church you welcome somebody that's a 20-year member, and they do not take that well. All righty. If we could go to the consent agenda, I do want to notice item 9 has a typo. It should be $8,758.88, not $8,758. Scratch that second 8.
Public comment?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Let's do have public comments. Anyone in the audience have anything to bring up?
What was that number again, Judge?
Number 9.
No, I didn't know.
Judge,
Oh, You could read it as 88,758.
Judge, I don't recognize that number
Which number?
on 9 that you just mentioned, a typo.
Well, down there in the first sentence, it has 8,875,888.
He's looking over the computer. Jeff, look here.
Oh, okay, this is not the county line project, this is culvert, okay, I'm sorry,
That's
There's
all
the
right.
real number right
I
there.
got you, okay.
Okay. All right, but let's go back up to public comments. I haven't seen no one wanting to express that. Okay. All right, thank you, Commissioner, for pointing that out. Okay, anything else on the consent agenda to be noted or corrected or items to pull down for discussion?
Judge, on item 8, could you
Yes.
tell us about Kendra Ball?
Just, she was recommended we had an email on it, and it's very difficult to get people to serve on that.
What exactly is that?
It's a committee that's headed up out at Nortex, and I believe that's the one that's called the Criminal Justice Committee that she's going to serve on. They meet, review grant proposals made every other year and score and evaluate
I
those.
see.
Okay. Someone's want to make a motion there?
So
Make a
moved,
motion
Judge.
that we accept the consent agenda
Second,
with the due noted on number 9.
Okay. Any other comment, anyone in the audience? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, we are now to item number 1 on general business is review and approve the bills, regular bills for payment.
Motion approved.
second,
Motion by Commissioner Muller, second by Commissioner Beecham. Any comments, questions on the bills? Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 2 is discuss, consider, take action to award RFP for LEC furniture to Commissioner Beecham.
Yes, Judge. Chief Rutledge did the lion's share of the research on this, so I'd like for him to speak to.
I know.
and let me intervene. I had talked to Will extensively about this and got his review, and Will, thank you for putting the time to digest everything that you did on this, and I know that you and David had to spend a lot of time matching up what you wanted on that, but I understood that after all said, all done, it's your recommendation that we would go with Midwest Furniture, and I would like to make that motion to move forward with that.
Is that a second, Commissioner Beecham?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what was how did we get there? I'm a little hesitant here because I don't see any backup to what we're doing.
I have nothing.
And I asked about that, and Nancy
Well,
said
and
she
and
thought
that
that'd be
could be
pretty.
my fault. Will extensively broke it out in the email, and I,
An email out to Mark, and then Friday when we discussed it, I had an email for those who were here. And a lot of it was the desk, for starters, we asked for 2 different sizes of desks. One from Wilson gave us all one size desk, we asked for a different size.
Well, is that because you're going to have 2 different size desks in your offices?
Well, some will be for the condensers, we don't need a 36-inch wide desk if we have that back piece.
Yeah.
The other thing was when we asked for the training desk, we asked for 18-inch training desk. Midwest supplied that, and Wilson's was 24-inch. And then a lot of it came back to the chairs. We asked for either no arms or, fold-up arms, where Midwest gave us that bid, and the others did not.
You know, somebody ought to design a law enforcement chair so you can sit down.
yeah,
And-
that's a
and-
good
And the
idea.
weight size was different, the weight limit
Okay.
was more on the Midwest chairs.
Yeah, all that gear on it couldn't be any body
Yeah, you
parts.
can
So,
stand
yeah.
up and you pick up the chair and go with you,
Yeah,
so.
Will, did
Well,
you,
it's even a problem in here with the arms on these chairs, yeah.
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 Will, did you consider mixing and matching to where you got the best deal from each vendor?
I did not, I mean, I looked at the one proposal, and there was only about $1,000 difference between the Wilson and the.
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
Okay, but the, Hudson was just high end on the desk to start with, and
Okay.
I felt like, I know in my office I have the Laurel brand, I believe yours is Laurel. I know we have them several in the offices, and they're good quality. I think they're good quality furniture, and I recommend that's what we go with.
Okay.
And I got to say on that, Sheriff, I know you know this already, but you're blessed to have two good guys, not just Will, but you got Darrell on the other side of the fence that does a tremendous job, and they take it to heart what they do, and they study it, and most people say, well, you know, but you are lucky to have two men like you've got working
It's
for you.
very good, because there's a lot of tedious things that we have to do to, especially the budgeting and what we're gonna do, just like this. This was very labor intensive, just sitting and reading and going through, and, you know, we know the furniture, but different styles and things. And just going through the whole thing, it's been a long process.
Well, most of it would have pushed, I mean, normally, somebody would have pushed it back to Mark to have to study and do, and then I think Mark was relieved that your people jumped to hold and worked through it. And
We also took every piece of furniture we have now, and just, I'd say 90% of what we have in the desk and other items, other than maybe some of the chairs, we're gonna move to the new facility. May not be the one pieces you see up front, but they're gonna be in offices that you normally wouldn't see, wouldn't be around. So we're moving quite a few pieces of furniture with us.
Okay. What were the two bid amounts? What were Wilson's and Midwest?
79,243
Okay, that,
for Wilson.
okay, which one was that?
Wilson.
We're 79 what?
70, no,
$79,243.80. Midwest was $80,544.55. And Hudson's total come in at $94,368. The low end
Seats and
seats and the high end lawn furniture.
It's also got to be a little challenging, I would think, to try to sit there and furnish out a place you've never seen.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh, we had the blueprints.
You got the blueprint, but it's different when you're,
Well, that's where-
yeah, you're right, Barry, and
yeah.
That's where some of the
Donna
sizing.
put in a lot of work on that, and I think from now on, we need to pay a consultant fee when somebody goes above and beyond.
Yeah, we'll-
to work it up, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you just take the complexity of the bids and the different things they bid, so you have to have your head in the ball game to even consider, you know, that, hey, this one's this. They weren't just a pure apple to apple thing, you know, so.
That's why our desk sizes were different too, because of the size of certain offices. It's just, you know, we know the plans, we studied the things from day one and helped design the things, so, and knowing the square footage in each office, and it's like putting the puzzle together. So you just can't get one desk to put in everything, because you got smaller offices, it's not gonna work, it's too big. So we were very, once again, trying to save the money as we go through the whole thing too.
This is no bookshelves, nothing in the closets. This is just a desk, chair, and maybe a couple chairs out in front in each office.
But you are
Bare
gonna
minimum.
go back and buy some bookshelves, 'cause
If we had the money, yes. And
well,
that-
you're gonna have to have them.
Well, we have some existing stuff now.
Yeah, we can make.
Okay.
That's why we're gonna pull that stuff with us, just because it's.
And the good part, we are under on this furniture.
Yeah.
So we can go back and,
And that's the whole idea is,
Yeah.
we see where we're at, maybe 4 or 5 months from now, then we can go back and get some additional to match.
Okay. Procedurally on this, the lower bidder who was not selected as the best bidder has to be notified and has a period of time to make a protest about it. We generally don't have that, and this is really is pretty close.
I thought there was a variance judge of 2%.
No, sir.
in the deal.
That'd be a nice idea, but,
Well, it is for school.
okay. Well, why would we have the same law apply to all local government? That just would be so less confusing.
We all here Friday. We selected one of the best fit on
They were all here Friday.
Sir?
They were all here
They were all
Friday,
here
Willie said.
Yeah,
They were, yeah.
okay, but I
The
mean,
RFP went out, it stated that, even though the lowest bid may not be selected, it'd be the bid that best fit the county.
I agree with all that, Chief. I'm just telling you, as I recall the law, we do have to send a notice when we don't select on a straight-out bid for products. Now, if it's services, that's a different thing. So,
And you said y'all are in Laurel now. It's always good to have Donna and this other fella, Wilson. He was a nice guy too, on your team going forward anyway, so you never know when you need them.
Sure. No problem.
okay.
We take it conditional.
Well, take it, yeah, we'll go ahead and select them, and take that based on the best bid and notice being given to the lowest bidder, according with purchasing statutes. And Willie, will you take care of that notice to them? Okay, all right. Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Watts, a second by Commissioner Beecham. Any other comments in the audience? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Congratulations, Midwest. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
You won't be sorry.
No, sir. All right, item number 3 is discuss, consider, take action to approve Hudson Blueprint quote for the furniture for the third floor project at a cost of $8,709 to be paid by transfer from general fund contingencies, lines determined by the county auditor. Commissioner Beecham.
Yes, Judge, this just continues our work to clean up the third floor, along with everything else we're doing up there. It'll be rearranging some things, moving the vending machines around, and providing some additional seating areas on the third floor in the hallways. So worked with Donna to make sure that we're putting best quality material up there and having it fit the areas that we have up there for it, so.
No, I appreciate what you've done up there. That looks so much better.
Keep
I
options
agree.
on the mirror.
It's gonna look a lot better when we're done, so.
Like I said, it's Gilbert, had the maintenance done outstanding.
Oh, yes, very
Oh.
much so.
Somebody told me his name, but his last name, and it didn't register with me. I'm going, he said, well, he works at the county. He said, and then I went, oh, yeah, okay.
Gilbert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that Gilbert, yeah.
No best.
So it would be my motion to accept that.
Second.
Okay. Any other comments, anyone in the audience?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Is there a specific reason we're paying this from general fund contingencies? 'Cause I'm wondering if it should not be paid for permanent improvements.
If we have permanent improvement, that's,
We do.
2020 is, this is a 2020 expense, so we,
okay. It doesn't matter either way.
we just know
Willie?
we use those general fund contingencies quite a bit.
Yeah, but no, this should be, I agree, permanent improvement. Is agreeable to modify that to permanent improvement.
Yes, sir.
And let me go back to, we didn't say where the funding for the furniture for the LEC was coming from. I mean, everybody knows that, but the motion, we need to modify that to allow that to be paid out of the LEC funds.
Motion to modify.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Then a motion to approve this.
Now, you made the motion, Commissioner Watts seconded, to improve the purchase of the furniture for the third floor, and that'd be come from permanent improvement fund. Any other discussion, comment? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries 5-0. Item 4 is discuss, consider, take action to amend Court Order 19.0903.633 to authorize 2 temporary positions in building maintenance until the courthouse construction maintenance projects are completed, to be paid up to $15 an hour plus temporary staffing, agency fees to be paid by transfer from general fund contingency, but should that be permanent improvement also?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So moved.
Yes, this will just allow us to continue the projects. We've been using inmate help, and they've been very good, but it's.
Not reliable.
It's not as reliable, and we have to work around the court schedules, so I would like to have somebody.
Yeah, I don't want to do anything that'll hinder your slowdown, Mark.
Let me ask, what projects have we got laid out and that we're doing
The
with them?
biggest thing right now is retexturing and painting everything up on the third floor, cleaning that up, so. That's the biggest project, so that's pretty labor intensive.
You get Bill Sanders.
But again, it's looking modern and fresh and nice and new.
Yeah.
And I hope you can find some guys that can work for 15.
That's gonna be the challenge, isn't it?
You're going to take those through the staffing service?
Yes, sir.
What about any guys from Interfaith Enterprises that way?
Judge, they're, all of the guys that are now, save one guy, are actually, you have to go through New Beginnings before
Right.
you go into Faith Enterprise. And they're barring New Beginning guys because they're shorthanded. So they've got plenty of guys, but they're not the ones they'll release yet to do
Okay.
anything.
All right. You know, and the thing with them, we kind of have to watch. They are in the court environment, and they have been in that environment usually before, but on the wrong side of the court. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
But
these will be
it's
good
amazing
guys.
what they are doing.
Now, Judge, just on that note, this morning I had a long talk with the boy, and you may know this family, Judge. Young, 33-year-old, sharp-looking young man. Father owns, just sold Ready Mix in Ardmore, Oklahoma. Mother superintendent of the schools in Ardmore, Oklahoma. He's out there trying to start a saw. And I said, young man, I've not met you before. Your name, Justin. He stood up, shook my hand, and so I go to quizzing him. Now, he's working alongside a 13.5-year veteran of the Marine Corps, an 8-year Army veteran, and a 5.5-year Navy veteran. I mean, they're hard-working, good, solid crew. But it's mind-boggling that people can put themselves into a vulnerable situation that they get themselves into.
Well, it's because we are discharged. If you or I had an employee injured like the injuries these young men or women are having while serving in hostile areas, we would have them on our workers' comp payroll. We would carry them through. Unfortunately, our military brings them back. It's difficult to get them to go into the right programs, but before it's all over with, they wind up with a general or dishonorable discharge, and then they're thrown to the streets with no benefits. It's wrong. It's
wrong.
absolutely wrong.
It's wrong.
And therefore, they just hit that social economic spiral down, and thank God for programs like that they can come to, but where their lives have fallen to.
Now, and I asked this young man, his name was Justin, I said, how did you end up, you're in Ardmore, you could have went to Dallas, you could have went to Oklahoma City, how did you end up in Wichita Falls? He said, because the counselors that he were dealing with had sent several to the women's deal. They were familiar with this program and said it's one of the better ones around. And I was amazed with that.
No. Since I don't handle very many criminals anymore, I got tickled. Some of the times we'd do Sunday dinner, we'd cook down, and I would do the talk at Faith Mission, and a lot of my clients were present there. Okay. All right, we are down to item number, wait a minute, no, we didn't take the vote yet on item 4. We have a motion by Commissioner Watts, second by Commissioner Beecham. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 5 is discuss and consider take action to advertise for bids for rental of heavy equipment with and without operator for roadwork and drainage project. Commissioner Watts, I believe that's
Yes,
yours.
Willie's helped me with this project. We're concerned with John Jones because of, we don't like a tremendous amount wrapping up. We probably won't break our 50 there, but we've got to turn around and do the county line project, which is not going to be extensive, but it's just flirting with that kind of money. Willie thought it would be prudent to move forward and take bids on this stuff as well, so that's what this item deals with.
Okay, you're talking about with and without operators.
Well, what he does, for example, Judge, there's, John Jones has a D8, huge piece of
Yeah.
equipment. Jack Lucor can make it stand on its nose. And so he doesn't charge me the same rate when Jack gets behind that wheel as if he was behind that wheel.
Okay.
So it's a cheaper price when Jack's in there, if he needs him to work in front of him.
So like right here, that's an hour, that's with operators. There's three.
We would just extend over
Yeah.
into our
What are those equipment hours or
chip seal and,
clock hours? Okay.
and maybe even a processor to process some of those roads.
Good. Yeah.
Because I know we're looking at that over the
Sure.
next couple of months.
Sure, if people, I'm not gonna be able to do, I mean, I'll get the county line done, I've gotta stop, and next year I'd budget for different stuff like this, but it's still in from my seal chip money right now, and Willie's correcting that, but we're just gonna forego the oil and do what, like the judge recommended the other day, I'm gonna grind some and just roll them back out and leave them, and if I have to roll them again the first of the next year, I will, and or grade them again the next year, and then do more diligently about my oil coming in. I'm just gonna forego that inventory costs and use
You'll
it
have a
towards
better
these
road
projects.
long term.
Well,
I will.
let me interject on that. Don did that, built up some roads, dug it out, put the hardener in there, and said, when we get the weather right, we'll come seal chip it. Them people are not happy at all. They
Well,
do not like
but
that.
the
They
years,
rut it out.
you had pretty good stuff. I've got roads that needed to been done 20 year ago. That you're falling off in a pit and driving down asphalt and running 50, and you better slow down to 15 on the asphalt, because you're gonna fall off in no surface
So to be
asphalt.
honest with you, you ought to just mill up that whole road.
That's what I'm doing, and that's what the judge was saying the other day, forego the oil on it, don't chip seal it, and just save that cost. And mill it,
Back in.
do like you said, get out in the bar ditch when I don't have the fences, roll those things in with the grader,
Yes.
throw it up and go.
But I'm gonna tell you, we did that on Slama, we've done it on River Road on the other side of the bridge. I've had my butt chewed on multiple times about it washes out, or it wallers out, makes a big, you have to slow way down to go through it. So
It's dusty.
you gotta stay on top of it. If you do it like that, you can't just, I'll see you next year, cause that ain't gonna work. You gotta go back
You'll have to
and do it.
Well, but River Road is the most traffic of any county road we have is on River Road, so.
This is on the other side of the bridge where we didn't do the asphalt. The road should have had, Bowman be the south end of
You
it.
talking about the city side or the county
Well, it's
side?
still county.
It's
but
still
it
county, but
Goes
it's-
up to the city.
Yeah,
yes.
okay, yeah.
We're out there, we got all of our equipment out there staged now, so that we can zip it up, and, cause it's bad.
Well,
Yeah.
I promise you, and y'all have all contributed to the fact, this guy knows the least, and I am so cotton picking proud of that drain ditch out there and the job they've done. All of y'all have interjected. Barry's telling me how to get that ride done the other day, that I thought about what'd be the smartest thing to do, but that drain is second to nobody's, and the way they all ought to be fixed across this country, and Barry gets his way with legislation, it will be that way, but
So are
that's,
you gonna try to seed that?
yes, and Barry was telling me,
Riparian barrier.
Absolutely, cause if you don't,
Yeah.
we wasted a lot of money.
Well,
Sure.
It needs to be done. I mean,
But you
it's
can put
part
it
of the
on with
process.
that, what's that fella's name that we hired for the gun range?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
We're-
Well, this is
Starter
more,
Charlotte.
this is too big, Lee.
No, you don't do it like that. What's his name? What's Charlotte's last name? Charlotte
Oh, Spraggins?
Spraggins. This guy's, his name's Spraggins.
I know him.
And he
He does
does
a
it for-
landfill
Does
all
it
the
for
time.
TxDOT, okay? And he can go in there and just,
Yeah, but I'm
Get
not,
it going.
I'm not doing that extensive. I'm just slinging ryegrass sleet, and I'm keeping it as cheap as I can
can
and
do
do
that
like
with
y'all
him,
did
too.
in the front yard. That's what I'm doing.
you can do that with him too. He just puts that ryegrass. I mean,
But
just
I'm just
whatever you
gonna put
order.
it in a spreader, and I'm gonna drag the spreader myself down and sling it from the
I think we've got it
edge
covered.
of the creek as wide as the
You
swath
do
is.
anything to
Can
prep
you
the
get on both
soil?
sides?
Yeah, I can go down one side, get on Bell Road, and come back the other side.
Okay.
Okay, I did that on a patch in my backyard. I had all the birds in the world when I didn't rake over those seeds. So just saying, they will enjoy your efforts.
They won't
Well,
get-
I
they won't
had-
get it all.
And I've done took them out there.
Well, my area
I was
wasn't real
thinking
big.
about that, 'cause me and Lexi have an ongoing joke. The seagulls come from the landfill, and they get out there, the minute I plant, they come out and land on that field, and I said, Lexi, call Merle Rogers at ISI and tell him to get his birds back home. But she'll shoot that rifle, you know, boom, and they'll all come up, and I'm talking 500 at a time,
Yeah,
seagulls.
well, they're changing their name. Most of them have never seen the sea, so they're calling them land gulls.
Land gulls, that's right.
Yeah.
But on that note, Judge, I found during the auction, how old they are, I don't know, but they're whistlers and boomers.
Yeah.
So they shoot with hand pistols,
Yeah.
and I got a whole Dollar General plastic deal full of them. So I told Landon, I said, because that is a problem, what Judge is talking about, and I said, you just have to go out there and pop, and we'll chouse them till maybe they'll,
Well, we used to use those propane cans.
yeah.
Back years ago.
Stanley Watson has some.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
exciting.
Bill Preston's experienced that. Tell him to head out there and
Well,
do that
maybe
for
that's when he got these things right
Maybe,
here, I
yeah.
found out there.
Yeah, yeah. That could have been the case. All right.
Actually, there's an old story that goes with that, but I'm not gonna tell it here. But-
So Jeff, on the consent agenda, that 27,000, was that the total bill for that?
No,
No.
but it's gonna be it's probably one of two, and it'll be probably the higher of the two. That's my
That's still
forecast.
good.
Very good, Lee. I mean,
Because
if we
I've been
could
out there on that
budget,
job site and I saw what he did. Amazing.
amazing.
When you are doing such things, be careful about that $50,000
Yeah,
limit.
and Willie was very good at showing me, and I had not thought, I really didn't think we'd go, but if everybody could do a little piece of that within their budget and fix a drain that's causing trouble, man, on 20 years, we'd be in good shape down the road.
Be
We need to
careful.
do that to Gilbert Creek.
Yeah.
You know, be careful. The old thing we used to get into, everybody thought, well, I could buy, $45,000 worth of culverts. Well, it's 50,000 countywide, so we gotta watch how we're doing that.
Well, that is something we probably should do right there, Judge, you just mentioned, because it's countywide, and we're all buying from the same, well,
And
me
not
and Lee's
asking-
buying from the
And
same.
not asking how much you spent. And I'm not telling you how much I spent. So
Willie,
that's something we need to
we
look at.
better do that too, just that, now Judge
'Cause
says
Judge
that,
don't
because
tell
it's
me about
countywide,
it.
it's not just
I
precinct
know,
4.
I know,
Lee's buying
I
the
know.
same thing I'm buying.
Now, you may be able to separate it because it's the project, you're doing a material amount of work on a set thing. So it could be, and it's gonna take a little research to find out, is that separate from doing it over here, the same kind of work, but in a different precinct or a different area? That may be one of those thin lines that works for us.
Okay.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Watts. I need a second for number 5.
Second.
Any other comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 6 is discuss, consider, take action to approve county treasurer's report for November 2019 and authorize county judge and commissioners to sign affidavit certifying compliance with the local government code. Mr. Hampton, glad to have you. Sorry about the reason you missed last week. Our regrets to you.
Would you wrap up with this again, one last time? Lee wasn't here and the judge wasn't here.
Oh, good, well, the judge is already,
And that's where the
He's
big
already,
money is.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, both of them's the big money.
That's where the big
Bob,
money
is what I-
is. So,
yeah, judge is big money. He always leaves a tip for me too. Plant your corn early, I believe is what he said.
He told me not to pet no burning dogs.
Don't burn your dogs.
Yeah.
Don't pet no burning dogs.
And so this year, coming up, I understand that we're in 2021, at the pancake feed, instead of the regular pancakes and/or little teddy bear pancakes, you have your choice of getting some flying metal pancakes.
That's true.
I know.
We'll
Yeah.
serve Bloody Marys next year.
Yeah.
Not that we're,
Yeah.
The real story
not
is,
that we're scared of Judge
He burned
Carson's
off his-
pancake feed, but he brought his own insurance man here, Tim Short, to
Bottom line
sit in
is-
on all his,
he smarted off to his wife.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that was my youth minister, and he says he tried to catch it, is what happened to it, not that he threw it at me.
well, anyway, I've already expressed my concern for that, and I'm very, very thankful for guardian angels, Judge. 'cause
Yes, sir, I am
if
too.
there ever was one,
You know, something simple like that.
Yeah, that thing had angled down instead of falling
that
flat.
could have
Yeah,
killed
it
him.
was well, somebody said it hit him in the head, it couldn't hurt him, you're like,
Well, at least it hit him
I'm
in the
glad we were able to
head.
whack
At least it hit him in
yeah,
the
it
head.
sure bled a bunch.
Tim, we do this to him all the time.
The TSG report,
Which I don't have.
it's, the bottom line on that,
Well, maybe I did.
thanks to our
Don't worry about
auditors,
this one. No, you should,
is we're, this is
you
over
can
here.
sign if you want to.
We're 9% below where we were this time last year. So 9%
What happened to all my money?
decrease.
You spent it.
I
You're
had it moved
spending
over,
it too fast, sir.
had it moved over to precinct 2.
And, does anybody have any questions on that? That long sucker, just so you'll know, we're talking about the November on TSG. This is November of 19.
But this is the December,
And
Colored
my
sheet.
report, of course, is December.
okay. And Bob, is that the grand total on the very back page for the bond? Are you saying we've spent 27 million now, as of now, or as of December 31st?
That's correct.
Okay.
27,350,000
Which is-
and change.
Where we should be, so.
Yeah, we're right back where we should be. But the TSG deal says we we got 44 million. Now, always keep in mind, some of this money is qualified money, so, yeah. Any questions on the TSG deal?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, then, moving on to my report, if you can, those red lines across there is your friend and mine, Uncle Sugar. And, I think Barry and I had an interesting conversation about this, but the rates are probably gonna stay low because we are borrowed up to our neckline on our own money. So you can't tell me that the national debt doesn't impact.
Okay, be sure the we is not Wichita County. The we is the federal government. I know you are,
The Federal
but,
Reserve right now.
but those that are getting another cup of coffee and they turn around and hear that, I didn't want we to be the we-ins that are borrowed up to the hill.
But the reason I bring it up, Judge,
Yes,
is
sir.
that we've got to start asking pertinent questions for these candidates we're gonna be voting on in November.
Well, we gotta find
Amen and amen, Bob.
We've got to start, where are they?
You can't do that today.
We can't?
We cannot,
Even though
no,
you're
we
running for
cannot do
Congress?
that. That's
No.
right.
I'm
We
not supposed
cannot
to
do
mention that?
Not
Well,
out.
you can mention that, you just can't quiz Lee Harvey for his
It's
position.
against the
Okay, I
law.
won't
Okay,
say
let's
anything.
move on, gentlemen.
Running for Congress, 13th district. So,
Mr. Hampton,
Yes,
please.
am I treading on thin ice?
Yes, sir.
Well,
Lloyd Bohannon will be over
you
here.
mean he'll fire me?
No, no, you're not getting out that easy.
The sheriff may put handcuffs on you.
We'll suspend your rest.
Well, that's one thing I don't kid about anymore. Sheriff has a neat little deal, but 3 huts and a place to sleep is not what I used to think it was.
Good health care for you.
And mental health care too.
And I've seen some of that. And
Mrs. Daughter quote.
okay, we've had a lot of bonds called, bottom line is, and right now, just so you'll know, this morning I was gonna print it out for you, but I couldn't. 10-year treasury's trading at 150. And the reason that I mention that, Judge, is the fact that that's important to all county treasurers because the Fed rate dictates the rate of interest that we're probably going to be counting on in the next few months.
I was just kind of curious if you had looked at, projected what we thought would be revenue for 2020, is that's going to bring that down by, what, about a third at that rate? From where we
Oh,
were?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I just bought a couple of CDs for $175, which I was real proud to get.
I think that is good today.
But boy, the agency paper is pretty pitiful.
You know, if we
That's
did
Freddie
some,
Mac's, Fannie Mae's, and Federal Home Loans.
if we did some local loans, we could get as much as 18%.
That's true.
You may have to go collect.
Yeah.
We got a sheriff's department, go collect.
That's true, Commissioner. I'm just not aware of any kind of
Okay,
risk-
let's
risk
move on,
taking.
gang.
That would be, pretty much cover us up. Anyway, the calls really impacted precinct, as you noticed, and so the monies that you'll probably see, coming out next, for January, I'm just leaving that in text pool right now. Text pool's paying 170, and so, but it's not gonna be there long, and we'll shrink down, and
That's a substantial
it's
drop.
important that you know what's going on.
Yes, sir.
Interest rates are going down,
Yeah.
and they're gonna stay down for a while.
Well, that's a substantial drop in mine in precinct 1, and I don't know that I've spent anywhere close to this.
Well,
I mean,
what comes out is on that TSG report,
Right.
bank module report that I get
yeah,
usually every day. I just try to keep the precincts kind of in line, Commissioner, so that's
Well-
where that is.
Commissioner Beecham made $3,870 in interest, and I made $900.
yeah.
That's not in line.
I like Commissioner
What-
Beecham better.
Yeah,
But that's all predicated on just trying to keep a steady line, how it impacts you with each commissioner.
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have you walk me through it after the meeting.
Okay, good. I love that.
Okay, I appreciate that.
We had 10 million come due, of course, in January, the 9th. And we, of course, reinvested that in another treasury note, so talking about the jail funds now, page 5. And,
Our interest earnings,
yeah. So we, as Lee's already asked, we've, right now in our jail fund, which we started with 70 million, we've spent 27.350.
So
And the,
we've had about $250,000 worth of interest income off of that. Just rounded up numbers, 91,000, 113,000,
Yeah.
64,000.
I would probably make more than that, Lee. I'll give you the,
Right.
yeah, I'll give you.
We're making some that's gonna help us pay for the project, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
We're making,
Well, we're not making as much on the interest as we're paying, so that's a
No.
negative. So we're right at 1/3 of our cost being spent,
yeah,
right at it.
right at it. And there's the employee of the year right there,
Yeah.
Sam walking through.
New
And,
month.
you guys approved in the bills today, 2.1 million we're gonna wire out for Yates, so I just wanna make sure that
Yes, sir.
right,
keeping you, like I said, keep you informed on these wires.
let's see.
How hard is it for you to get liquid to
Do
do
this
that?
week.
Any questions on my report?
Commissioner Harvey had a question of how,
How hard is it for you to get liquid to send those wires?
On
On the wire transfers, how hard is it for you to get liquid assets to do that?
Boy, it takes a day.
1 day?
Yeah.
Well, it's not hard on the jail deal, because it's
It's in the bank.
you're preparing for that.
It's not, yeah, we're prepared for that.
You know, Bob told us the other day, speaking about those wires, and Bob, I mentioned to you, I had a buddy in Virginia that through email scan, nothing changed, but their routing stuff was, without digging into it or checking it deeply, realized they had been scammed. And so all the email and stuff looked the same, but the routing had all been changed, and they did a wire and it went to the wrong place.
Well, I'm sure you guys had the same class I did in our association meetings.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got talented people that don't want to do anything but crooked stuff.
Yep, you're right.
And I tell you, it's mind-boggling, but,
Well, that's why we all have got, it's kind of like people send an email, they don't send it receipt requested or anything like that, and they assume that someone got it, read it, and understood it. And you can't do that anymore, whether it's email, when you're transferring things in software. It's kind of like this stuff with our new court software. When you take an action, the next thing you probably ought to do is pick up the phone and see to get there in the right queue and just follow up on it, because there are problems in any new software and how someone applied that application. So it just needs follow-up until we have it all, straightened out. So, no. All right. Could I have a motion then to accept and authorize the signing of Mr. Hampton's reports?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any other comments from the audience? Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Harvey, a second by Commissioner Marler to accept and authorize the signing of the county treasurer's monthly report. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. All right, we're down to item number 7, is receive an update on the Law Enforcement Center. Commissioner Beecham.
Okay, Amoresco, this will be the last report on them. We've reached substantial completion. Jerry has gone. He will be back when we do the boiler test for final approval. Jim, the control guy, has stayed behind to work out some of the bugs. We've been having issues with temperature settings in the different offices, so.
Yeah. I didn't check out I asked Jerry to do something with the lighting when you come in through the sheriff's entrance at night. He said he fixed it.
Okay,
It was dark as could be coming through that hallway.
okay.
Those red lights do not do much for us.
I didn't know them red lights were there until I come in one evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, the red lights are those are emergency backup when the
Yeah.
power goes off.
Well, he told me he would fix that lighting and it would be fine, and I just hadn't paid attention. Because sometimes you come in, the regular lights are on, so.
Okay, I will give him a holler.
Okay, thank you.
So they're substantially complete, but Jim is still on the project for the remainder of this week. Jail projects continuing on. We do have item on jail commission this Thursday for approval of another waiver for G2 pod, so we can build that out as a 60-bed dorm. Should have the price today, hopefully. Just don't want to go to Austin without the price, so that will be a change order coming from this court.
But I'm glad we're getting that worked out. I really dreaded the idea of us not building that while we were doing it.
Right.
Because
Costs way much more money to go back
Yeah.
later.
well, that and what it does when you try to get all the stuff you have to get into that pod, after you've got people in there.
Right.
It's just not a good deal.
No, we believe we can pay for it out of interest income on the bond. without any additional tax dollars going to
Yeah.
it, so.
Then that's definitely what we need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finish it out so that there's nothing more to finish out,
Right.
if we could.
Yeah, well, we just, again, we're going to get the waiver to have it built out as a 60-person pod. It'll give us, what, 6 by 60? 60-person pods, which,
This is a total of over 750 between Burkina and Infirmary and Solitaire.
716 or 718 beds.
Total makes us over 750.
Yeah.
So it makes us like 684, 686 without the city one in Buchanan.
So,
Have you all been doing any more review of the staffing model that was proposed by?
I played with it a little bit on Friday, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I don't know what's going on in Austin Wednesday, but there's not a hotel room to be had, so,
It's crazy, isn't it?
Donald Trump's in town.
I don't know.
You may have to go tomorrow afternoon. No, wait
With the
till
weather?
leave.
With the weather.
Sanctuary
So, anyway, overall, the project's going well. Nothing really to report out of the ordinary, so.
Okay. Thanks for all your efforts in it. Sheriff, y'all too. All righty. We're down to anyone in the audience have anything to bring up? Okay. Commissioner Beecham?
Had several folks ask what's going on at the front steps, that we're preparing to put the generator in for the new server room. It'll be up in the old telephone room up front, so. Dug that out, put in a French drain system so we don't flood the sheriff's office if it rains. We'll add that extra.
We had
concrete.
that in the past, didn't we, David?
Right.
It rained, it flooded that room.
So that's what's going on up there. Generator will be set next week, so. It finally arrived.
Okay. Commissioner Harvey?
Couple of things. I guess our neighboring counties have, did a resolution for Second Amendment sanctuary counties, and have had several people ask me when we were gonna do that. So, just to bring that up.
I got asked about it at the Electra banquet
Yep.
Saturday night.
People seem to, it's just,
It's a resolution.
it's a resolution.
It's not a court order.
That's not a court order, that's right, it's a resolution. And, anyway, I was just asked about that.
Tim Shorts asked me as well, so.
Well,
Me and the judge spoke about it the other day, and I'm gonna get the copy of it from
Clay and Young,
Clay.
What I called the sheriff about, I certainly think, I can safely say everybody on this side, and I'm going to say that side also, is a supporter of the Second Amendment. What I didn't want us to do was to pass anything that had any wording that possibly put the sheriff or the district attorney in a position of not fulfilling the oath they took based on some kind of action of the Commissioner's Court. That's all I've looked at, that we don't
we don't want to do that.
infringe on that line and do that. Now, if law enforcement and district attorneys certainly have discretion in the performance of their job, but, there's one of the things that all judicial candidates run into is we have to be careful of what we do politically, whether it has anything to do with the things we might hear before us. And so that's the only thing I'm going to watch for in that, make sure I don't violate the canons of doing something there, and I don't believe there's anything in that, but I would certainly want to get legal opinion from our civil division that we're all not doing something there, and I'm not sure anybody else did that. And somebody can say, well, nobody cares, they're not going to do anything, I just went through an interesting 7 months of that, and don't care to repeat it again.
It wasn't very interesting, was it, Judge?
No, sir, it wasn't. But just on a side note, I visited with James Frank on working on some clarity to that law. And It's going to be interesting. It's all in the eye of the beholder is what is a judicial function. And that really is broad or narrow, depending on how you look at it. So at any rate, I certainly think, we can consider that, but I want to consider it in the right context and framework that we've done that responsibly. And I think it's probably a whole lot of cure on something, but I think our courts always tried to look at things and do them in a responsible way by taking the extra time to check, and that's, so Sheriff, you get those other orders or other resolutions that have been passed. Because I don't think we have the authority to pass a court order that would do that.
Right.
So, but we can resolve a lot of things. So,
I think it's Collin County that had a broader version. Might look at that one.
I think Young County just did it too.
yes, they did.
I think Texas just ought to do it, period.
Well, that would be, to me, that would be the,
Why did he go?
yeah.
In reality, if the Civil War breaks out, the second Civil War in Virginia, it'll be a quick Civil War. And the other people who are stuck behind that will probably need to head for other countries for real this time, because it's gonna be bad in this country if it does go that far. It's no law enforcement is gonna stop groups that go after people after their guns. Nor, I can say this too, pretty much every sheriff in America is not going to sit back and let the federal government dictate that you go take people's guns.
Well,
It's not gonna happen here.
The sheriff up in Virginia said, I don't care what kind of crazy laws they pass, I'm not enforcing them.
I would not either.
He come right out and said it.
It's just, if somebody else wants to come and knock on doors, take guns, they better have a lot of backup, because he's gonna be outnumbered. It's not gonna happen in this country.
No.
Well, Sheriff, you,
Trouble started back about 1770. The British had it. We took their guns away to use it, what we have now. Not gonna change. I don't care who barks about changing the Constitution. It's not going to happen.
Well, you think about it, if our government wants to take our guns away from us, they're probably gonna do something to us that we're gonna shoot them for.
They're gonna,
So, let's don't, no. Anyway, second thing, Judge,
yes, sir.
is that, this Friday night, the Redneck Culinary Academy will be serving 600 special needs children at the Tim Tebow Night to Shine.
Where's that gonna be?
Straight Street.
Straight,
Yeah, straight.
it's at Straight Street?
Yeah.
Believe it is.
600. That's going to be an interesting board meeting tomorrow we have on how, if the weather's
It's Old
good.
Straight Street.
Huh?
Friday.
It's at the same place it was last time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's Old Straight Street. No,
Oh, up here on Burnett, the big,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big building. Upstairs, downstairs.
oh, okay,
They'll
all
have
right.
the tent and all.
Oh, yeah. the
Yeah,
tent was
they
full
were,
last year,
okay,
too.
I wasn't there,
We should have been. It was great. Those kids, that just makes your heart,
yeah.
when they're in their tuxedos and their prom dresses, and there's ladies doing their hair and the curly, I mean,
Yeah, it's,
it is really cool.
But I will not be helping again because I have a lovely date for the evening, my daughter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, which, that's what we're doing it for. People like you and your daughter. That's,
And she's thrilled. She's can't wait. She's counting the days.
it means
It's a
something.
big deal for
It's a
her.
big
Yeah.
deal.
and-
So, this is our second year to do it, and, we're proud to do it, to be honest with you. So, if you want to, you can join the Redneck Culinary Academy and experience some of the wonderful things that we do. The third thing is this report right here, Judge. Is this report right here?
yes,
It says this number here for precinct 2, and this number here for precinct 3, which is $1,090,000 more. I'm thinking that old Barry ought to give me some money.
you're allowed to think anything you want.
But I mean, I'm sure he loves me, right?
That's an awful lot of love to ask for. Okay, let's move on.
I'm done.
All right, Commissioner Waller?
just several things. It's hard for me to believe that we're, 2 weeks away from early voting in a very, very important election, so. And is today the last day to register?
Yes, it is. Today is the last day to register to vote, February
Listening to
30th.
this, it's a painless process, and we like it to be a two-step process. We want you to register, and then we want you to study. And sometimes we leave the second part of that out. It was my pleasure to attend University on Saturday. It was the program that was put together by the Texas hemp growers out at Vernon Regional College. The building, and I've heard, let me congratulate those guys, because that's the first time I've been in that VRJC building since it was, I think last time I was in there was a nightclub. So that's been a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while.
It's a nice facility.
I tell you what, that is a tremendous facility. I had just not had an opportunity to be in there. And I was really impressed with it. They've got great audio-visual stuff. I mean, it's a great, great addition to Wichita Falls. So congratulations to those folks. But it was good training, 60 people. Interest is there. I don't know that we're any closer to raising it in Texas than we have been, although the licensing process will open with Texas Department of Agriculture just any time now, and it's quite a complex deal, including background checks and all kinds of things. So just a good deal. I brought the book this morning that went along with it. It's got all the rules and regulations and all the stuff. Our agricultural economy needs it, guys. We need some kind of a rotation crop, something that'll work, because it's not much out there working right now. So maybe that will be it's not gonna solve the problem, maybe it'll be a piece of the puzzle, but, a good program, well done, and once again, I was very impressed with that facility out there. That's a great addition to Wichita Falls, and of course, I'm an MSU guy, an MSU graduate. We're proud of our university. We're certainly proud of, what VRJC is doing in our community too, so that's all I've got, Judge.
Barry, let the people know that you're not talking about growing dope.
Industrial,
It's industrial hemp.
yeah,
It's nothing to do with
you know,
marijuana.
you'd have a hard time smoking enough of it. You'd be tired.
Yeah.
You got there, so, no, that's what it is, and there's lots of rules in place and a lot of learning to do, and, it's just, like I say, I hope it's something that'll come along that'll benefit some folks, because it does have tremendous value in the industrial world. It's a great product. We just get it raised, get it processed. That's gonna be the whole deal.
Well, our farmers, they only ask one thing, to be profitable when they raise a crop.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not asking to get rich, they're just asking not to go into the hole.
Yeah.
What out there do they plant right now that is profitable for them?
There's no,
That's the problem.
today, and it's,
That's the risk with the crop, way I understand it, is if it doesn't fall within the guidelines, and it has to be.
it can go hot and it'll be monitored, and and one of the things that bothers me about trying to raise it on rolling plains is one of the things that makes it hot is stress.
Will cattle eat it?
And yeah, probably, and one of the stresses is hot weather and dry weather, and guess what, we have in this part of the country, so. Don't know, we're still a long ways off, but we're learning, hopefully it'll work
If
out.
it gets hot, Judge, we can cut and bale it for the cows, and then we just have happy cows.
Yeah.
Cheetos too.
Cheetah.
Red lip cat, orange lip cat.
All right, Commissioner Watts.
Yes, sir. Judge, thank you and Barry for coming to the Electra banquet Saturday night. Dave, we missed you. Meredith said that, well, let me clarify. I'm standing in the parking lot at church. We had a construction meeting, and Scott Stubbs asked me to come out and look at some faults in the parking lot when a rocket ship come down 287. He said, I've never seen that unit before. I said, I've seen it. It's the sheriff of Wichita County. And about every 2 miles, the tires would touch. But you were in hot pursuit to Wichita Falls. That was Saturday morning.
That's the plane crash. We had a report of a
Okay.
down aircraft, which we did. No injuries. It's actually emergency landing, engine failure.
No injuries?
No injuries.
Oh, great.
Muddy field, yeah.
Gosh.
Controlled
what a lucky
crash.
deal. What a
We
lucky
had it,
Private or
Yeah.
Air Force?
No, right.
Private?
they had a emergency we got a call, the I was interested in the chili thing on the belts, but I got a call of an emergency aircraft transponder at the Pleasant Valley Airport. Of course, you hear that anything with somebody maybe working on it, but I've seen airplanes crashing there before. So we started heading that way, and then we dispatched advised that we had a shepherd's report in an aircraft 5-6 miles south of northwest, reporting a plume of smoke about 2 miles out.
Oh, man.
Then we start stepping it up, and sure enough, we see a plume of smoke back to southwest of our park. So we're responding that way, and some units responded to the airport. The smoke was actually a control burn in Valley View. Halfway there, then we got the report that it was the plane was actually seen to put the pilot out east of Bell Road, which it was about a quarter mile east of Bell Road, south side of the tracks, but first private drive across the tracks. And he landed behind the house, and he was coming in approach. It's one of these, it's a glider plane,
Yeah.
rotorcraft.
I've dreamed about me flying one at nighttime, in my dreams.
That'll
Wake up.
That'll squirrel country there is what you're talking about there.
Yeah, so he was coming in with it, and he'd replaced the carburetors on this thing. Learned quite a bit about the actual aircraft. Number one, it's composite, so it means I'll never be in one. The engine died, just failure. And he practices, I don't want to mention his name publicly, but y'all probably know it very well. He practices engine dying, landing, maritime vehicle. This time it was real. So he didn't panic, he's just no more different than landing if it was gliding, so that's what he did.
Well, my nightmare is that I'm taking off or I'm coming in and I can't avoid the high line wires. I can't get too low, can't get too high, and I'm going right into them, and I wake up every time.
Well, he actually told me that if you say if he had 500 more foot ceiling, if he was at 500 foot higher, he could have made it to the airport, but he knew that the way he was dropping, he was going to catch the power line, so he diverted back across the houses there, off of the houses there on Peterson.
Yeah.
Went back to the east, found a nice green field. He said I had to pick the muddiest field in Wichita County landed, but no damage to the plane.
They call that dead
No
stick.
damage to the plane?
No damage.
That's a dead stick landing, is what that is.
3 wheels down, it fixed wheels, and all 3 down, and he
Lucky.
hit it, and no damage to it. And it's amazing that he did flip it. And,
Yeah.
The only bad thing about a dead stick landing is you can't go around the drive. You only got one jump.
Well, time he hit touchdown, time he stopped, but no more than 35 yards, so.
Well.
It's a quick stop. And I dealt with the FAA for about 2 hours.
Oh, gosh.
And you may not be through.
Great. It was a great banquet. Lee Harvey, judges, stepson again wins a huge toolkit. He is the luckiest guy I know. He can hit every time.
He spent $100 on tickets.
I asked,
did he?
Yeah.
I asked Judge not to bring him this year, so somebody else would have a
Could
chance to
win.
win something.
And it was fun, though. It was a good time. Let me jump horses on you right quick. The Great Ole is now down again on this project. It's been down 5 times, and it's time to trade. And my guys are telling me, do not fix that hunk of junk. It is needs to go to other people's pasture.
Is this the one we got a couple?
Yeah.
Do we not see a little, the equipment dealer that has made us these good deals?
Well, I've been investigating with Barry, and John Jones is telling us that Wilbarger County uses that Caterpillar wheeled loader. Barry had
Wheeled
said
excavator.
wheeled excavator. And Lee, would you give your old unit, Precinct 2's old Great Ole, and let me couple it with the Precinct 5 Great Ole and put together a package that the court could look at on a wheeled excavator from Caterpillar?
Heck, yeah.
Okay, so I'll get that number together, and me and Willie will
That
show
old
y'all.
excavator still works.
Okay, and I'll show that to you, and then on that same note, I wanted to give my stick shift 15-yard good dump truck to Precinct 5 and let them also look at a proposal as to a trade-in from it, because it's difficult for me to jump in and drive, and now the younger set of fellows that I'd hire have trouble with it, and the last thing you want is somebody that don't know how to drive it driving it.
Well,
It's a good truck, it's for the right guy, but it's not for us. And
You have to put it, it's an automatic truck, it's not a stick shift, it's automatic, but you have to put it in gear, put the PTO in, and then take it out of gear.
no,
Yeah,
Lee, you
do.
shift it 8 times.
It's a direct
You
drive.
push in the clutch and shift every gear.
Well, that truck the other night, the one we're
That's
talking
Mark's
about,
truck. That is an automatic truck, and that was Mark's truck, and it has to be done that way, and that
Yeah.
boy didn't know that.
that's right.
Yeah, but this truck I'm talking about,
The
precinct
different
4, is a clutch.
But that's to operate the PTO.
That's
because
correct.
it's on automatic transmission,
That's-
you gotta engage the torque converter.
Correct.
To go.
Yes.
That's what that's about.
But this stick shift, and then also on that note, I've got that not auto car, but that Mack truck with the big winch on the back of it that I don't even know how to start because it's so foreign to me, being a guy in a truck all the time, but in a more newer version of truck. The air brakes, the everything else on this 79 model Mack that I have, it needs to go down the road, and I'll give them both to Precinct 5 to get a truck back in that we can use. Because,
Two sticker.
yeah, sure is.
Oh, I love 'em.
I love them too.
Well,
How cheap's that truck gonna go? I might buy it.
okay, well, good deal. Willie, remember that, when we're working on that. Lee,
You gotta curve your little finger so you can get them both at the
the,
same time.
the rock box.
Been there, done that.
The rock box is all tuned up and ready to go. The Precinct 2 truck has had its apparatus put on at
Yep.
Texoma. Precinct 5 truck is there now. Do I need to do the Precinct 4 truck? And in the event we don't trade prior to summertime for rock box stuff, would that help?
They all need to be able to hook up to the,
I'll
to the
do
rock
that.
box.
It's not a
Right
big,
now, they
it's
do
not a
do
bad
it.
deal. Okay.
Right, it's not really expensive.
But the rock box is tuned, working. The distributor is Bruckner's and been gone through, and it wouldn't start, battery's dead. So just tuned up and fixed up and double checked, and the rock box is the same way. All the filters changed on it.
Did we address the heating problems on the rock box, particularly in the starter and in the computer?
It
Now,
gets hot, it
I
shuts
have
off.
not talked to him, Mark. He just finished that like Wednesday or Thursday, and I have not had that discussion with him.
He don't know that even happens, I'll bet you.
Yeah, because we need to, in the console, we need to put some kind of fan to run some air, cooler air across the computer to keep it from overheating.
It gets hot, it
And the
stops.
same way with, we need to shield the starter
But-
and the battery.
Guys, that's not the way you run equipment.
I was gonna say, it wasn't designed that way. It worked for a long time without those.
I'm making it hot.
I mean,
Something's
Yeah,
making it
now, I
hot.
agree, something's making it
we're
hot.
only as good as our equipment. That's all we got. And we got 15 guys standing out there, and it lays down, and then we have nobody to come work on it for 4 hours, and our guys are twiddling their thumbs. We're better off to lease from the guy that's coming on Friday to meet all y'all, J.B. Klossner. We are better off to rent something from him, have him deliver it the day we want it, have him pick it up the day we don't want it, and take it to the house and sell that rock box that has been nothing but a slow-moving item for us that costs us
Well,
time.
Jeff, I'm gonna be honest, that was self-inflicted.
What was?
That rock box been all jacked up.
No, the rock box was wore out when we bought it, Lee. Wore out. And if you disagree,
Jeff, I'm just gonna have to disagree with you.
Well, I'm not-
When we unloaded it, we cut that big harness, them wires, cut it in half. And they
when
spent
we
days.
unloaded it, we didn't go and haul it down here to ourselves.
They brought it down here.
Yeah, and if they unloaded it and cut it,
We got up on the truck and drove it off.
that's our
And
fault.
That's
Our
what I'm
fault.
saying,
Yep.
it's self-inflicted.
All right.
Okay, when we had the hoses on the pumps, we are the ones
Yeah.
that put them on back.
But what Mark's talking about, ridiculous. To put a fan on a truck to run it so it stay cool so you can keep running it. I mean,
Oh.
that looked like Beverly Hillbillies driving down the road.
We
Ridiculous.
weren't
That's
talking
not how
about-
you drive
we
good,
weren't talking
hard,
about-
yellow iron equipment.
Box fan. You weren't
No, I'm talking
box
about a
fan.
console fan.
Okay, but the point is, that didn't come that way. There's something causing that, and whatever's causing it is gonna get worse, and you're gonna have to get a bigger fan, then add cooling towers to them, and find out what's wrong. I mean,
And-
I'm sorry.
Okay, but I'll get you, now, on that note, J.B. Klossner, I'm gonna guess him 38 years old, the third, Grandpa started the business. Daddy is the CEO of the business. This young man's got the Fort Worth office down here. And guys, we couldn't take $20 million and furnish the yards that they got equipment on right now. I'm telling you, they've got the equipment. But he's coming Friday because his guy's coming to train us Thursday afternoon on the milling machine. And so he's coming down Friday. I called Trace Cribbs. He's going to show him. He wanted that late that evening me to run him out there to Whiteface and show him Wagner. And Trace is going to show him. But he's coming down here because his guy's here, and I want y'all to meet him and ask him a ton of questions about road equipment because he's a hand. He's trained by his grandpa and his daddy.
I drove through his yard about 2 weeks ago.
Isn't that nice stuff? So, I mean, they got mechanics, they got stuff in Big Baisley, and they're working on that stuff like crazy. Mark, again, I'm got to where I sneak into Reeves Road because I'll get captured every cotton picking time. I came out of the hayfield across the borders. So, you know, borders got a ridge on them this big, and I have to carry my trailer and go across each border and have to pay attention. So I get out of the field loaded with round bales sitting on the trailer, get on Reeves Road, I spill them because it's rougher than the borders in the coastal patch. And so they've been eating my butt out every time I go out there, and I have to stop and do something like that. 3 people stop by and say, when are y'all going to fix this road? Reeves Road is what it is. R-E-A-V-E-S. On the budget, Judge, me and Willie were talking as we made some changes this last week. We have 3 components that make up the Commissioner's Court budget. Could we not move back to just one component and all get on the same component? Because somebody's paying electricity out of camp fees and somebody's paying electricity out of, we break it out in 3 camps and it means nothing to us. We just need it all in one money under one department line instead of 3 department lines like we have it.
I'm going to say I don't think
Simplified.
you can do that because you have cost-based accounting. That's a Gadsby rule, and it separates by.
Judge, we did that way before Gatsby ever came around.
I agree, and it's reinforced keeping it. I said that's an auditor question.
But I'll agree with you, but the district clerk don't do it that way, the sheriff don't do it that way, the county clerk doesn't do it that way, and we bust out.
Because they're not in the same type of operation.
Yeah, I
They're
don't
not
think it has
standalone
anything to do with
operations.
Gatsby, nothing whatsoever.
Well, I think it does, but at any rate, I'm going to tell you right now, I think that's an auditor question, and given we're going to be changing auditors, I wouldn't do anything until the new auditor gets on board, reviews.
But I'm just saying, to do it prior to us, our budget functions, where we can look at and say, here is, because it's confusing. It is very confusing to look at it.
So we've been confused for 100 years?
Yes. Yeah. Since it was done that way, because somewhere apparently, according to Willie, in about 79 or 80, it was done that way. There's no need to have camp expense, maintenance expense, and road expense. You just have Commissioner Precinct 1 expense, and it line items every single expense he's got on there, and Barry's same exact lines
Oh, okay.
compared to Mark's.
I thought you were talking
same
about
exact lines.
combining all 4 precincts.
No,
Okay, that's
no,
fine.
I just
All right.
want to simplify it so everybody's got 100 lines and every line is the same on
Well-
Mark's as it is on mine, as it is on Barry's.
34 is-
Line 34 is the
Okay.
same expense on all 4 commissioners.
And that's when, under the new financial software, I think that's the time to do that. And I'm not opposed to what you're saying there. No.
I think it would help us see it better. Bob was going to mention, and he talked to us Friday, hands to hands. I didn't know we could sign up, Judge. He sent us an email. You'd already signed up. I went and signed up. Lee Harvey, you should sign up. You weren't here Friday to be told about it, but he mentioned it to us.
But you've also got United Way if you want to support that.
United, you can pick and divide them or whatever.
Yeah. But-
And that's everything I have, Judge.
Okay. A few quick things. Who's not going to be here Friday? And I'm not. I'll be North Texas judges. You will or won't?
I will be.
So the 3 of y'all are here.
What do we?
Lee, where do you got to go to? I
No, I'm
want you to
doing
meet,
T-Bone Night to Shine Friday, so I
Yeah.
can be here Friday morning.
Okay.
because I want you to meet that guy.
All right.
Okay.
Should be here Friday morning. Should be.
Okay. just so y'all know that, Saturday I had an incredible experience. I served as a judge for the American Legion Oracle, had 5 outstanding high school kids make presentations. And Sheriff, when you brought up a while ago the Civil War, they had limited to the amendments they would speak on. They could prepare on any one of 4 amendments. Then, and they got to speak for up to 10 minutes on that. Then there was a drawing out of the amendments, and then they had to speak on that. The amendment was the 20th Amendment, which has to do with how, when the president and other congressional leaders take office, they must have some given areas they study, because 3 of the 5 of them on that said the Civil War would probably not have happened if the 20th Amendment had been in place, because lame duck Buchanan would not have been in office. President Lincoln would have been in and probably would have been able to avoid that. So that's a major thought, and I'd never heard that, and I thought I was a fair government studier, and so that was but the level of presentation, these young, it was 1 young man and 4 young ladies. They were competing for a $750 scholarship here, which is books for 1 or 2 classes, and used to be that for the whole semester. But at any rate, they are going on to the state American Legion contest, $20,000 at stake. So a young lady won it. No. You sure of that?
That's what it said on the news. Young lady from Ryder High.
Was she, okay, she wasn't the one I thought was more, okay. Well, I'm glad, that's great. They didn't tell us where they were from. That kind of broke down at the end when they were introducing them. They did not have a good script to follow. And the guy said he'd been doing it for 5 years. I thought, well, okay, maybe that's worked in your book, but I'd do it different. At any rate, it was just a fantastic event. And Midwestern hosted it along with our own American Legion posts here. Sheriff, chili's hook off. I got out of my suit. I didn't think I wanted to go eat chili in a suit from the other event. Went there, and there was still at 1:30 or 2, a good crowd, great chili. I think I got the next to the last bowl of chili. And then following that, they...
Call-ins to check on how it was.
Yeah. Well, then the Southwest Chili Finals, guys, are going to be Memorial Day weekend. They're going to be looking for judges for that. So that ought to be a great event at the Elks Club again. And then this afternoon, the first meeting of the Wichita Falls Chamber of Commerce Government Affairs Committee. I'll be attending that at 1:30. Tuesday morning is Wichita Falls Chamber Board meeting at 8 o'clock. Then Thursday, I think it's Thursday, but it may be Wednesday and Thursday, the Boots to Business and out at Vernon College. And you throw Vernon in and you throw boots, and I'm looking at cowboy boots. It's not cowboy boots. It's veterans. People who wore the uniform wore boots. Anybody can come to it, but that's the primary target, is trying to get veterans employed. That night is the Lincoln Reagan dinner that's being hosted by the Republican Party. And then also the Wichita Falls Chamber of Commerce annual meeting is that night. I will not be able to be at the Tebow thing. That's Kyle Cook's Valentine's banquet. And then Friday I will be at the North Texas Judges Association meeting that I chair that got set up. We meet every other month during the non-legislative session. And we're still, the major issue we're working on is working out the agreement that would keep us out of the liability arena in the operation of our own local Workforce Solutions Board. But that's coming along fine. They are getting insurance and things that are going to further make that separation. The last thing I had, food truck's supposed to be here today from the Career Education Center, and there's some good chow in there. Sheriff?
just a reminder, the springtime weather we're loving is fixing to end for at least 2 days. It's supposed to be at 4 to 9 inches of snow. Our tax assessors already sent out the county policy on weather days a while ago. Thank you, Tommy.
I thought he went by school district policy.
He does. Yeah, yeah. The preparation we're getting ready for, just like we've had probably 2009 and 10, when we had people trying to drive through snowstorms and get stuck everywhere, so we'll be ready for that as far as our heavy equipment goes. Everybody needs to be safe, and good thing is, at least 2 weeks afterwards, we won't have any grass fires, so.
Yeah.
If we do, it'll be across the top, the trucks will be stuck in mud anyway, so it's.
Or we may have absolutely nothing happen other than cold weather.
Or nothing, or
Yeah.
way too much.
The other thing people need to realize, in the 2000, was that 10? 9 and 10, that big snowstorm on Christmas Eve.
That was 9.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And people wonder why we didn't close 287. Well,
It's closed at 7.
well, but after it got
It's so
full.
fast.
But there is not a way. That's not a controlled access highway. And so, and there are no signs about stupid people shouldn't drive down the shoulders in the snow and get stuck and block everybody else, or any rescue vehicles. Stay in, pay attention. Can't ask enough of that.
That storm was between TxDOT and Oklahoma Highway Department. There's more communication now about when they're gonna shut the toll highway, when they close
Yeah.
the bridge. They didn't notify Texas they were doing this, but caused all the issues on 44. Of course, 287, anything northbound, should have known to get deeper, so. But,
Yeah.
remember those days, back then, we utilized the fire departments, they had the deuce and a half, 5-ton fire trucks to get out, to pick people up, take them to the churches and places that got those people out of.
I worked 18 hours a day, Christmas Eve, all day Christmas, in my big John Deere tractor, getting people off the road, taking them to the community center. I was delivering water for the longest time on my four-wheeler until the snow got so deep I couldn't do the four-wheeler anymore. But they're out there, they didn't have anything to drink or eat in those cars, so they were stuck there for hours. They were glad to see the community center.
One of my nieces left in a party dress, open-toed shoes, a not fully charged cell phone, and not a full tank of gas to drive from Denton here, and wondered why she was running into all these problems. And she's not even blonde, Nancy. Okay. All right, anything else? All right, it is 11:37 and we're adjourned.